We are also grateful today for the life and work of Dr. Herb Tolbert. I'm glad that Renee and the family, his mom and sisters, can be here with us today. So I have this honor to recognize him as Staff Emeritus, former employee, colleague, and friend. He served Simpson for 13 years, dedicated and faithful in his work. The years of his service stretched over 2 terms. He first worked at Simpson College from 1991 to May 2000. He was in the enrollment area, and he filled a number of roles some of us are familiar with, including the Director of Student Support Center, the Director of Enrollment Development, and Interim Vice President of Enrollment Services. Prior to returning, he just finished his doctorate in that in 1999. But prior to returning to Simpson University, coming back home, being close to Mom, with Renee, he served in enrollment management at 5 other schools, including LeTourneau University in Longview, Texas, Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania, Angelo State University in St. Angelo, Texas, Cox College, Cox Health in Springfield, Missouri, and in Montreat College in Montreat, North Carolina. Having honed his craft, he knew it was time to come home. So he joined Simpson in July of 2009. And one of the interesting things while he was away is Renee would write these blogs. Sometimes it'd be called roadkill updates. So I think I read way too much about armadillos flattened on the highway. Herb also came back with pointed-toe cowboy boots. Since my feet are 3 triple E, I'm not sure how that would, or triple E, I'm never sure how those would fit in those kinds of things with a pencil sharpener. But Herb came home to Simpson University, Vice President for Enrollment Management, July 2009, through end of October 2013. One of the things he did in terms of accomplishments upon his return to Simpson was he went through a contract with Hobson's as a customer relationship management provider, CRM. Took us a little bit out of the dark ages in terms of our enrollment and brought us up to speed. Herb was over the moon about SEM, Strategic Enrollment Management. And if you talk to him long enough, you're going to keep hearing that same thing said over and over again. We have to be in it as a university. It's not simply enrollment's area. You would hear him say that to be successful, it takes a million little things. And you know, being someone who wants to make the complex a little more simple, I said, well, how about the top 5? But he was right. Enrollment is a complex thing. He was committed to the work of retention. That's actually what his doctoral studies was on. And so a part of what we have today with Adam and company in the retention area as a result of Herb is looking forward and not only bringing students here, but his desire to keep students here as well. For me personally, Herb's work ethic was astonishing. When he was first with Simpson, he got a bacterial infection that claimed 1 lung. And so he was always at 50 capacity at best, and then it even got worse, obviously, as he got older. But he loved his work. He was dedicated to his work. He was glad to come. He remained optimistic, even when there were times that recurring health issues wore him down. So he found purpose and joy in his work. And yes, some frustration that I heard from him on occasion at limited resources that stymied what he believed could be done in enrollment management. He was an outdoors guy growing up. He coached basketball, he did lots of stuff. And so I always thought of him continually as working with this reduced capacity, how that must chafe at him. But he didn't use health issues as an excuse for not getting his job done. He even brought oxygen to his work so that he'd get treatments. So once he finished treatments, he'd continue with his work. Health finally forced his retirement at the end of October of 2013. He passed away a little bit over a year later, December 6, 2014, from lung and respiratory issues. In conversations with Herb, he'd often end those with, "I love you, man." And he meant it. So I find, perhaps, maybe appropriately in closing my comments, also in his signature line of his email, you could always see that God is watching over us, is what he'd have there, reflecting his complete trust in God, whatever life would bring. God is indeed watching over us, Simpson University. Herb, we love you, man.